गोपी के साथ मिलन के पुलाव पका रिया है।
गोपी तो छोरे का नाम होता है।
अरे वही तो टेंशन है, आजकल के लोंडे भी तो दिशाहीन हो गए।
Hello there, I am Pratikshya Mishra and you're listening to Do I Like It? A Quint production where we review anything and everything under the sun. And in this episode, I am going to talk about Zara Hatke Zara Bachke and in extension, I think to Jhoothi Mai Makkar. I'll tell you why. My agenda today for this episode is to ask क्यों नहीं रह सकते लोग अलग घर में? Why can't we live in another house away from our joint family? That is our agenda for this evening or morning or night whenever you're listening to this podcast. Listening to this podcast से याद आया. Before I actually get into the topic, I want to tell you that you can listen to our other episodes from this series as well as our other podcasts from the Quint on our website or wherever you find your podcasts on. तो ज़रा हटके ज़रा बचके का क्या प्लॉट है, वहाँ से शुरू करते हैं. एक कपल है, कपिल एंड सौम्या. द फैक्ट दैट वन पर्सन इन द कपल इज कॉल्ड कपिल इज परहैप्स गोइंग टू बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी टू से. वैसे ही स और श में मेरा थोड़ा इशू रहता है. तो ये कपिल ऑल्सो आई विल ट्राई माई बेस्ट. मजाक मत उड़ाना मेरा, बट ठीक है. कपिल एंड सौम्या आर लिविंग विद कपिल्स पेरेंट्स. पर फिर कपिल के एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली से 2 लोग आ जाते हैं अपने बच्चे के साथ वहाँ घर में रहने. अब जॉइंट फैमिली में उनकी शादी का सत्यानाश हो रहा है बिकॉज दे फुल्ली कांट लिव द वे दे वांट टू लिव देयर लाइव्स एज अ मैरिड कपल. सौम्या जी ने कहा कि एक अलग घर ले लेते हैं, उनके नाम पे भी ले लेंगे, राइट? सो इट बी नाइस. एंड एट वन पॉइंट दे मेक अ पॉइंट अबाउट हाउ 63% if I'm not wrong women in the country don't have a house to their name. So she wants to be one of the women who has a house to her name. Absolutely valid. But towards the end of the film, you kind of start feeling like they expect Soumya to be apologetic for it. यही जो बात है, यही जो कांड है पूरा, had also happened in तू झूठी मैं मक्कार, लव रंजन की जो फिल्म थी. उसमें भी एक कपल था, एक लड़की थी, एक लड़का था. लड़की को अलग रहना था बिकॉज शी फुल्ली लाइक फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग शी वाज सेइंग कि भाई मेरे को नहीं रहना है जॉइंट फैमिली में, मेरा सीन ही नहीं है ये. एंड तब तो दे वर लाइक ओ हाँ मस्त व्हाट ग्रेट परफेक्ट. देन टुवर्ड्स द एंड इट्स लाइक ओ वी ऑल नीड फैमिली दैट्स हाउ वी ऑल सर्वाइव. ठीक है, आई एम नॉट सेइंग वी डोंट नीड फैमिली. एवरीवन नीड्स फैमिली, एवरीवन नीड्स अ सेंस ऑफ कम्युनिटी, फुल्ली अंडरस्टैंडेबल. बट ये न्यूक्लियर फैमिली इक्वल्स नॉट लविंग फैमिली कब से हो गया? Because nuclear family is also a form of family only, right? Especially when we look at the society that we exist in, patriarchal, very much so. Even in Zara Hatke Zara Bachke, if you see, there are points where couples, upper caste, middle class, क्या चलता है एनीवे, अपर कास्ट मिडिल and middle class, you know what middle class is, okay, that family, and they have this very snooty way of looking at Soumya's Punjabi family. At one point गलती से शायद वो उनको एगलेस की जगह अंडे वाला केक खिला देती है, तो देर लाइक ओ ये तो हमारे बेटे को फंसा दे कि उसको अंडा खिला रही है. देर ऑल्सो वेजिटेरियन. All of this is going on. I do give credit to the director Laxman Utekar because it does feel like he is giving an indictment of this. मतलब he is showing this as a problem. Like he's critiquing this. It is satire. तो वो तो है because his films like Mimi and Luka Chupi all deal with patriarchy, the idea of marriage, the institution of marriage and how it works वगैरह वगैरह with an absolute disregard for the law. चलो ठीक है, whatever, film is film. But where was I? What tangent was I on? यार देखो, I'm trying to make these more conversational for you guys, so I've stopped using scripts, and this is what happens. I lose track of thought. The fact that she earns more than her husband is brought up beach में. The husband is fully okay with it because they're great. Those two are great. The couple loves each other. Kapil and Soumya are very happy together. Kapil does anything for his wife. His wife clearly loves him so much so that जब वो divorce लेने जा रहे होते हैं, everyone around them then can see that they're in love with each other. अब इस सब के बीच में the family does treat her this way. They're kind of disrespectful to her family also. So then if she wants to live separately, it's very valid. Even in Tu Jhoothi Mai Makkar, she didn't want to live in a joint family. When she tried to live in a joint family, she saw that this rich joint family of the man she's fallen in love with has a routine, has some beliefs, has a system that she's just not okay with. तो उसको अलग रहना था. ठीक है यार, प्रॉब्लम क्या है? तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है? There is no problem. I mean, a nuclear family, if it works for someone, would work very well. I'm not saying that all joint families are bad. I am saying that the concept of multiple forms of family, nuclear, joint, binuclear, combined, however, exist for a reason, because different things work for different people. Different kind of families work for different kind of families, right? So why then do, like Baghban dekhi thi sabne, abhi over the years we have understood that film is kind of messed up, right? For many, many reasons. So why are we still in that sense? Why does somehow this idea that पति अपने पत्नी को अपने फैमिली से अलग कर देगी, अलग रह के, क्यों भाई, मिल लो यार फैमिली से, मिल लो, मीट देम, टॉक टू देम. जूम का ज़माना है यार, मतलब अब तो इतनी टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ न्यूक्लियर फैमिली में क्या ही प्रॉब्लम है? कॉल कर लो, बात कर लो, मिल लो आके, राइट? सो आई थिंक दैट्स समथिंग दैट रियली confuses me in both these films and the ideas that they perpetuate. So at the end of the day, do what makes you happy, do what makes you and your partner happy. But yeah, why put the onus of keeping a family together on the woman? You know, it's outdated. It's such an old belief. Let's move beyond. Let's move thoda aage. Let's move beyond that. Let's try and understand that a nuclear family is not anti-family. You know, let's try to understand people's motives behind, not motives, reasons behind them wanting to maybe move out of a family. We film, I think, Gulmohar, which I think exists on the other side of the spectrum to this, where there is a joint family and the oldest member of the family, a woman, says that she wants to sell her ancestral home and essentially move away. And everyone's mad about this decision, but towards the end of the film, you see it's such a beautiful film. You see that it's all about agency. It's about choice. It's about the fact that she's always put other people before herself, and now she's finally choosing herself. Like, she's at the last leg of her life. Like, old age is your last chapter, right? That's, unless you're Benjamin Button and start aging backwards, old age is your last chapter. So usme she's finally decided to do something for herself, finally decided to do something that is her choice. And that's okay. Usme, again, problem kya hai? So Gulmohar, I think, is an excellent example of how all the time a joint family can have issues that they don't talk about. Nuclear families can be successful. The elder son and the bahu, for example, want to move out because they want to stand on their own 2 feet. You know, they don't want to be dependent on their family. They don't want to be hyper dependent on their own families. Hyper dependence, not fun. We saw it in Baghban. We see it in Piku. That's the point of Piku, is how Piku's life is derailed by the fact that her father is hyper dependent on her. Understandably. And then again, it's not that at some point when parents grow older, they will obviously depend on their child, right? That is different. But hyper independence as a whole, as a joint family unit, is a problem. Any person being hyper dependent on someone just because they can be is an issue. And that is why I don't see why it has to be nuclear family versus joint family, and why it can't just be family type that works for you, works for everyone. Everyone as in everyone around you. Like, a family type that works for you and your partner should work for you and your partner. Like, it's just your decision. That's all. Like, sometimes, okay, you can separate to a nuclear family, realize that's not for you, and come back to a joint family. It's that simple. But I guess there's a lot to talk about on this also. So I would love to hear your thoughts about this as well. You could completely think I'm wrong and disagree. We will fight about it. But yeah, if you've watched any of these films, if you're planning to watch Zara Hatke Zara Bachke, which in essence is kind of a fun film, if you're looking for a bit of mindless entertainment, some ha-ha-hee-hees in the theatre, it would be a fun watch for you. But yeah, this is just something that was on my mind about the film, and I wanted to get it out of my system. So yeah, to finally answer the do I like it question, that's, I guess, my verdict. It's fun, but just utna bhi maza nahi aaya. You know, matlab, theek hai. The writing is pretty decent. The dialogues are great. The screenplay suffers. The dialogues are fun because at one point there's a love triangle is called Love Trikon. Really had fun there. But the screenplay as a whole is a bit haywire. The acting is pretty fun. Vicky Kaushal is amazing. Sara Ali Khan is better in this than she was in some of her previous projects. The supporting cast is brilliant as a comic group. They're all so good. So yeah, but watch the film, make your own opinion. And if you want to talk to me about it, I am available on Twitter and Instagram, and I always love to hear from you. Some of you do get back to me about these films, and it's always fun to have that discussion. So that was all for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Do I Like It is a Quint production, executive produced by Ritu Kapoor and Shelly Walia, hosted by me, Pratikshya Mishra, produced and edited by Anjali Palod, with music from Zara Hatke Zara Bachke and BMG Production. See you next time.
You were listening to the Quint's podcast.